Sometimes you walk through life alone, wondering if anyone understands what you are going through, hoping someone will listen and offer a word to make your day. The Church of God of Prophecy offers unconditional love and support, regardless of what you are going through. Visit cogop.ca for a location near you. The Church of God of Prophecy, developing authentic disciples of Christ.
On the Let's Talk television program, we share solutions to real-life problems with real people, showing how faith guides everyone through the storms of life. We talk about tough issues that affect all generations. Our conversations help you learn, grow, and lead. Help us continue with this great work by partnering with us today. Call 905-625-1278, extension 233, or visit letstalkca.org. We look forward to your partnership with us to change lives. Let's Talk, revealing the heart of Christ through engaging media conversations.
Good evening and welcome to another segment of Let's Talk. I'm your host, Woodroe Thompson. It's good to have you with us this evening. My guest is a business leader, a lecturer, publisher, and award-winning community activist and educator. She's the Honorary Consul of St Kitts and Nevis in Toronto, making her the first woman to hold this position. My guest is Miss Brenda Foreman. Welcome to Let's Talk.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure being here with you.
Good to have you. Now, congratulations on your new role as Honorary Consul for St Kitts and Nevis in Ontario, Canada. And as I mentioned before, you have had numerous achievements prior to this new role as Honorary Consul of St Kitts and Nevis. What has that journey been like, and how has those past achievements prepared you for this new role?
Well, I never. Sorry, getting an echo. I didn't think about doing something like this. I wasn't preparing for it. Maybe I was being prepared for it, but I had no idea.
Right.
And I've had to overcome many, many obstacles, learn how to multitask, how to build business and deal with children and build a life, and a life of volunteering and helping and being helped. And I have a love for my country, so I was always involved on many levels with people in the country, or in any way possible that I could help. And I think because of that, it was organic.
Right. So I'm sure that there are others who have been watching the work that you've been doing, even though you said that this came as a surprise. But I'm sure that seeing you have a love for your country, you've been involved in the community. Others have been watching your life and watching your work.
Probably. I'm starting to realize that.
Right. Now, for someone like yourself, I grew up in the islands as well, in Jamaica. And I know my dad is my greatest inspiration. Actually, I mentioned that he's my hero and still remains my hero, even though he has passed on. Who has been the greatest inspiration and who has impacted your life more than anyone else?
Well, that's easy. I've had many, because I'm very, very lucky to have a close-knit family.
Right.
But my grandmother on my mother's side,
Right.
Adina Percival, she was, sometimes I still say is because I feel like she's with me all the time. She's left me many words of inspiration. So when I'm having a bad day, I think of something she would say, and I could hear her voice, repeating
Right.
something. Brenda, get up, brush your knees, let's move. Or
Right.
But she was my greatest inspiration. And it was because she was a simple woman, a small woman, but so strong. She, to me, was a superwoman for me. I don't know how she did many of the things she did.
Right.
When she was alive, I think back then we didn't know anything about entrepreneurship, I don't think. But I would call her the serial entrepreneur because she, without a formal education, did so many things. She would make the best lemonade out of any lemon that you give her. Do you know? I think you know what that means, right?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay, she would find anything, she like on her way home, if she found almonds and stuff, she will gather them, and before you know it, she makes something out of it, package it, sell it.
Right, right.
School kids need
Yeah.
something, she packages, sell it. She always found a way to hustle, build, and did that on her own with 6 children,
Wow.
to bring up on her own. So
Right.
I don't know how many
Yeah,
people.
I know exactly what you mean growing up in the islands, even though some of our folks didn't have the educational background many of us have. They were great. They were amazing. So growing up in the islands, did you grow up as a person of faith? And if so, how has faith impacted your journey?
I did grow up as a person of faith. My grandmother was a strong believer, and
Well,
she instilled it in all of us. She basically, I had Sunday morning church, then Sunday school in the afternoon. I had summer vacation Bible school. I had
right.
youth Bible school. I
Yeah,
came up through the church, but it wasn't so
right.
much that. It's that she was a very generous person, and she believed in community, and she believed in God, and she believed that God is in all of us. So she wouldn't be
Right.
preaching to you, but her actions told
Right.
you that she was a woman of faith.
Very
If you
good.
have a problem, she'd say, go on your knees and bring it there. Don't talk to anybody else. Go on your knees and you're going to get answers. And she is right.
Yeah. Well, most of us from the Caribbean can really appreciate that. And she has passed that on to you, and faith has impacted your life ever since, I'm sure.
Definitely. I
Yeah,
can tell you that without a doubt.
very good. Now, let's talk about your role, Honorary Consul of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Mhm.
What's that role like? What does that entail?
Well, it's very broad. What this means is that I am here to represent my country and my
Right,
people, primarily the people within the diaspora in Ontario,
right,
Toronto, and the rest of Ontario, because our office, the consulate, is based in Toronto. We have a high commission that's in Ottawa, and that is the head of the mission.
right,
I work for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which means that everything that happens out here, they're my boss back home. I'm here, like their consular services, for example, if you need passports, citizenship
right,
applications, all that comes through our office. But on a broader scale, I am the basic representative. So if I building relationships, for example, with the people here, finding what they need and sending their needs back home, relaying whatever, and be there as support. Simple thing as supporting when disaster hits, for example, and where we are in the Caribbean, there are many disasters
yes,
coming with
yes,
climate change happening
right.
constantly, and with the hurricanes. We kind of find ways to galvanize each other and build, and so I could say liaising or liaison would be a
Right.
better term, as one of the many duties I would have here.
Very good. Now, many of our viewers watching may not have been to St. Kitts and Nevis, and some of them may not know this beautiful twin islands. Tell us a little bit about St. Kitts and Nevis. I just realized that there, even though you speak English, there are some who speak French. I didn't know that.
Yes, we have a lot of Spanish also on the island.
Oh, Spanish. Okay.
Immigrants
Good.
that come through, and many, because it's become a melting pot. You
Okay.
know, we had the Caribs and Arawaks who populated the island before we were brought over on ships.
Right.
The story, but we've held on to our African culture.
Very
Um,
good.
which is the food. And you mentioned a lot of people have not been to St. Kitts and Nevis. Well, it's time to change that. Every
Right.
single person should visit St. Kitts and Nevis at least once. And I guarantee 90% of the people who go don't want to leave. They want to build a house, they want to start a family there, and I'm for that. I love it. I'm a Canadian citizen. I love it here, and I'm thankful to live in a country like this that
Right.
helps so many other people and so many cultures. But I also love my country, so I get the
Of
best of
course.
both worlds.
Of course. Yes.
Yes.
I'm from the Caribbean. I'm a Jamaican by birth, so I love my country as well. So I can identify with that. You mentioned Canada, being a Canadian citizen. How has Canada prepared you for what you're now doing?
Being here, growing up for most of my life, like I said, spent
Right,
most of my life between, and being exposed to many different cultures. I'm an entrepreneur, like you mentioned, so that
right,
you, for the work that I've done, I've had to deal with people of every single culture and class. So it's prepared me because I can go between. I could learn to, assimilate. I could learn from other cultures and bring back.
right,
Because what we have to do is learn from each other, build on it, share what we have with others. And I think because of that, I mean, in this role, it's diplomacy. You have to be able to deal with people. You have to understand people, and there are many different type of personalities
right,
living in a country like this. So once you've been around and you've learned to deal with these personalities, it just takes you to that next level. Being open, you'll never ever prepared. I don't think anyone is ever fully prepared,
right,
but it helps.
right. Now, COVID-19 has impacted just about the entire world.
Mhm.
What has the impact been like for St. Kitts and Nevis?
Wow, that's a tough but an easy question because
Right,
it has been tough. I am very thankful that we have a government that thinks ahead.
right,
They have worked it, the system, they have prepared, and they were able to help the people on the island and outside. Um, we depended so much on tourism. That's our
yes,
primary export is tourism.
right,
So, if people can't travel, the tourist ships
yes,
are not coming
hmm,
in, what's going to happen? Right? That's a huge, huge part of the GDP. So now
right,
we have to find ways to expand our economy,
right,
looking into agriculture, agri-processing, because we need to learn how to feed ourselves. We're
right,
waiting on the food ships to come in. If nothing's happening, how do you eat? How do you support yourself? With tourism, the hotels suffer, the restaurants suffer, you know,
right.
the taxi drivers, the tour,
Oh,
every
yeah,
tour operators. So it's been very, very hard. I know not just for us, but for everyone. And
yeah,
then takes that to another level. Mentally,
yes,
it's gonna affect every single one of us. We had to need to learn how to support each other.
right,
I think one of the best gifts that I've been given is to come from a country where people help each other. If
yes,
you have a tin of milk and a
yeah,
pound of sugar, you're going to give some to your neighbor.
right,
If when a hurricane passes and the roof of your house is blown off, all the neighbors come together and help each other and they sleep. You see what I'm saying? So we had to go back to basics and build each other, support each other, encourage each other, and share whatever we have. And that's where we are right now and learning to live on other levels, being creative. You have to be creative.
right. I like that, going back to the basics, because that's the way I was brought up in the islands. We cared for each other, and you're correct. You'd run next door and you'd get supplies from your neighbor. They would come to us and get supplies. That's the way we lived. There was that sense of community, and so that's what kept us going. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Please stay with us. We'll be right back with Miss Brenda Foreman. Please stay with us.
On the Let's Talk television program, we share solutions to real life problems with real people, showing how faith guides everyone through the storms of life. We talk about tough issues that affect all generations. Our conversations help you learn, grow, and lead. Help us continue with this great work by partnering with us today. Call 905-625-1278, extension 233, or visit letstalkca.org. We look forward to your partnership with us to change lives. Let's Talk, revealing the heart of Christ through engaging media conversations.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. For those who have just joined us, Miss Brenda Foreman is with us. She's the Honorary Consul of St. Kitts and Nevis, and so thank you for joining us. I would like to, we're just talking about St. Kitts and Nevis. And I'd like to ask, as the Honorary Consul of St. Kitts and Nevis, what are some of the goals that you have for the Twin Islands?
There are many, many things I'd like to see happen.
Right.
I want to see more collaboration
Right.
between our people in the diaspora and the people on the islands. Learning from each other, building partnerships with private industries who are willing to go back and invest on the island,
Right.
who invest in our people. Colleges and universities teaming up with them so that they can offer scholarships, or we can gain access to scholarships and stuff for our students there. Learning from the government and the ministers here, in different areas, like I mentioned, agriculture,
Right.
learning best practices and sharing them, because we have a lot to share as well. So it
Right.
all boils down to partnership and collaboration. With these two things, I think we can move mountains. I know you have a saying that says one cocoa full basket, right?
Of course.
And
I know the saying.
clap, we say that. So we put two hands and we join our hands and our forces together on
Of
all
course.
levels. We can do
Yes.
so much for humanity and for this world and for each other.
Yeah. Do you find sometimes that people of the diaspora sometimes, just like you, love your country and would want to see it advance and would do anything to do that? Sometimes do you get disappointed that others do not share that same sentiment?
Yes. I mean, you'll always have both. You can't,
Yes, of course.
not everybody's going to want to be a part of something like
Correct.
that. And we are people of mistrust. I realize as a Black
Right.
people, I should say, or African descendants, we have reasons for it, but we're
Of
working
course.
past that. We're working to the point of unification and sharing knowledge. People who are interested in learning and sharing, those are the people I want to reach out to. And then
Okay.
eventually everybody will come on board. I'm a strong believer. I have faith that things are going to go the way they're supposed to go. Right now,
Right.
it's a little bit dark. It's a little bit dim, I guess, like I say, with the pandemic and the effects of climate change. These things are going to affect all of us. But like I say, if we pull together, we partner, we share what we have. For example, I am an entrepreneur and I've built businesses and I've had to learn
Right.
so many things on the way, make mistakes. Why should I allow other people to make those mistakes when I could share, how I've made my mistakes and how I've overcome? This is what I want to do. And I want to bring the youth forward. We have some
Right.
talented youth in our communities, all of us. They want mentors. They want to learn. They want to share. And they have a lot to share as well. They're not, just because they're young doesn't mean that they don't have a lot to give. So
Right.
if we create a climate of sharing, service, giving, I think that is the ultimate, and that's where we should start. That's where I'm willing to start, because that's where I've done most of my community work, is volunteering, serving, sharing. And believe it or not, it's one of the most fulfilling things and feelings that you can ever have. I want to share that.
Right. Very good. Now, you're the first woman to hold this position as Honorary Consul of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yeah.
What kind of message do you think this sends to young girls in St. Kitts and Nevis, and even right here in Canada? How impactful do you think this will be?
I think it's extremely impactful, and it can be, with the right state of mind, positivity, the positive thoughts that we relate to each other. Because when I was growing up, I used to think women can't do certain things. Me being in this position says that we can. We have a lot to offer.
Right.
I have two young daughters, and they look up to me. They work with me. They've worked with me to build things. And this, to me, is important for them to see that, no matter what it is, the sky's the limit. Beyond the sky's the limit. It's there. We are balanced people. Men have their strengths. Women have their strengths. And I think when we come
course.
together, we build a balance, right?
Right.
This shows that we are capable of anything. We have female prime ministers
Yes.
now, where 50 years ago, that was, So for me, I think this role tells me, I guess I'm going all over, but this role says that I can accomplish anything that I set my mind to. And I want
Right.
the children and youth to know that.
And I see that the government of St. Kitts and Nevis has actually undertaken this role to ensure that women are involved in politics and in leadership positions. So that's a good thing.
Yes, we have a very progressive government. I must
Right.
say, I'm proud of them because we have women all across the board in ministry and
Right.
in certain areas that they've been building, leaders, government officials in all areas. They're willing to open up the doors and give you the chance if you take that baton and move with it, run with it. They give you the opportunity. It's up to you to go forth and, do what you need to do to get it done.
Very good. You are the CEO and founder of Be Styled Image Consulting Firm. Could you tell us some more about that?
Well, it's an international firm now because we have places we work with partners all over, some in Europe, some in the US and
Right.
Canada, and also in St. Kitts and Nevis. So it's managing a person's public image. The ABCs then is appearance, behavior, and communications. We build all through that. We help you be the best of who you can be, who you are, without changing a person's, this is who you are. So we work with that. It's
Right.
holistic in the sense that whether it's a public image you're building, whether you have a woman going back to work,
Right.
climbing the corporate ladder. There's so many different levels to it
Right.
that people they just figure it's dressing and styling. It's not just about that. It's, it involves, again, appearance, behavior, and how you communicate
Right.
on all levels.
Very good. Now, you've served on multiple executive boards and advisory committees dedicated to the advocacy of political rights, social welfare, and so many other things. Have you ever felt a call to the political arena? We're just getting ready for our elections next Monday, I think it is, September 20th, federal election. And you've been involved in so many things. Have you ever felt a call to the political arena, to politics?
Not necessarily a call, but I used to say I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now either, because I
Right.
was always, I felt like my services are better one-on-one in community, helping,
Right.
teaching
Right.
on that level. I do love politics. I grew up in a very political family.
Right.
But I'm not sure about that. I never say never, but I'm not sure. Moving that level. It's no.
Right. Well, you didn't think that you'd be serving in this role, so you just never know.
That's true. That's that's
Um,
true.
I have a saying that my producer would remind you that I love to use, and it's a saying that God wastes nothing. So everything in life is preparing you for something. So you just never know. I know that you also work with women and youth empowerment. Tell us some about that.
Well, that is what I enjoy the most. I have two things I enjoy. One is really
Wow.
promoting my country and my people. I love them. The other
Right.
is working with youth and women.
Okay.
You mentioned something just now. My experiences, I think, prepared me for that. I didn't plan on that. I've been through a lot and rebuilding myself with two
Right.
young children and learning so much. That prepared me for this because I ended up seeing what people are going through because I recognize the feeling, I recognize the look, and I think, oh, wow, you're going through something because I was there. And my experiences helped me help somebody else.
Right.
Women, for example, some of the programs I work with or run is recycle program.
Right.
Part of my business called environmental styling. I recycle old clothing, used
Wow.
clothing, and I give them to women to start over. Because again, knowing where I came from and knowing what I had to learn and relearn, I can share. Women who are going back into the workforce, who have had to start over, or immigrants coming in who have nothing. We help to get them back on their feet by either giving them courses, learning, communicating, and styling and dressing them for the part, giving them wardrobes. So nothing's getting to the landfill, or we're trying to get less things into the landfill by reusing, upcycling, and sharing. I don't believe in spending more than you have to.
Right.
Your monies should be within your community. You can help each other by sharing what you have. And that's what we do with the women. Some of the women programs that I've worked with and I'm working with right now, we're building for this next future coming out of this pandemic. We're going to have a lot of people coming through because we weren't allowed to touch and feel and be close to anybody. So we have a lot of buildup right now. So the courses would be, for example, get etiquette lessons, protocols. Right. Getting them, and then once they've got the body image, rebuilding their self-esteem, and then getting them the clothing that they need to get back into that workforce.
Very good. That is especially good during these times. Now, for my viewers who are watching, how could do you need help with clothing or any of the supplies that you have to provide for these women? How can our viewers help with that or be part of that?
Well, they can reach out. We have an on-site place, Mavazi at Wingold Avenue, and I could tell you, bestyle.ca is our website. You can reach out, give us a call if you have stuff that are gently used, especially career corporate women. A lot of suits. We go through a lot of suits. And those are the things that are needed most of the time. And children's clothing that do help. But I find when a woman can feel well and she can go into a meeting, or an appointment dressed, her self-esteem blossoms and it takes her to the next level. That's one thing less to spend, right? So they can reach out to us at Mavazi. I'm on Instagram and Be Styled on Instagram. It's Be Styled by Brenda Foreman. There are many. Just Google and you find me everywhere almost.
Very good. When was the last time you were back to St. Kitts and Nevis? I know during COVID you probably haven't been able to travel, but when was the last time you were privileged to visit?
2.5 years ago. 2.5.
5 years ago.
No, 2.5.
Oh, 2.5 years ago.
Okay. Yes. I like to be there. I'm home 2 to 3 times per year. So it's been difficult because again, I'm straddling with both worlds. I run down, I come back because my mom is there. Right, she's there. My children are here, so I have. Right. But since the pandemic, I've had to cancel flights on 2 occasions. Bought the tickets, packed, was ready to go, and then the night before we were ready to get to the airport, we heard, Air Canada's canceled. Right. So I'm waiting for some things to be opened up very shortly so that we can, make that trip.
Right. Very good. Very good. Well, I am blessed to hear of the work that you're doing, not only with St. Kitts and Nevis, but just in the community here in Canada as well. As the Honorary Consul of St. Kitts and Nevis, what message or challenge would you have for viewers, especially during this time of COVID?
The primary message or the primary goal is to stay strong, stay focused, and try to do something positive every single day for yourself or for somebody else. I just got connected to UNESCO's Youth Kindness Matters campaign, and that was one of the most brilliant things I've heard about. I think kindness matters. Yes. Being kind to yourself and being kind to others can help to build a much better world, as simple as it sounds. So that is the one thing that I would leave that with, is just, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't take anything from you to help somebody. A simple smile, walking somebody across the street, sharing what you have. That's something you have that somebody else may not have. Makes a huge difference.
Well, that's a really good challenge, and good challenge for all of us. Now, just before we go, how can folks get in touch with you? How can they reach you?
For the consulate,
yes,
they can reach me there. We're at Richmond Street in Toronto. We have a phone number. A website will be up shortly.
Right.
They can email me at bforeman@cgstnevis.ca, or they can reach us by telephone 416-368-7319. And St. Kitts and Nevis information, St. Kitts and Nevis tourism, all of that is all on there. Once you put that in the computer, everything comes up. But you can reach us. We are always available. We're not on site all the time because of COVID, but we are accessible by phone and by email.
Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on Let's Talk, and we look forward to seeing you again. And keep up the good work. Our prayers are with you. And we appreciate the work that you're doing, not only for St. Kitts and Nevis, but right here in Canada. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you too.
Thank you. Well, folks, that's all the time that we have for Let's Talk today. You heard my guests share a challenge with us. Be kind to each other, especially during these very difficult times. Let us show kindness. We're blessed so that we can bless others. I'd like to remind you that you can go to our YouTube page and you can hit the subscribe button. We'd also love to hear from you. Just let us know how you've enjoyed the ministry and how it has impacted you. We appreciate your prayers. We appreciate your gifts, your financial support. Please continue to pray for us, but please continue to send us your financial support. You can use e-transfer. You can go to donate@cogop.ca. You can use text to give. The number is 289-769-9200. Type the word register and follow the instructions. And of course, right here at the studio, 5145 Tompkin Road, Mississauga, L4W1P1, you can send us your donation. God bless you. Let's be kind to each other. See you next time. Let's keep talking.
On the Let's Talk television program, we share solutions to real-life problems with real people, showing how faith guides everyone through the storms of life. We talk about tough issues that affect all generations. Our conversations help you learn, grow, and lead. Help us continue with this great work by partnering with us today. Call 905-625-1278, extension 233, or visit letstalkca.org. We look forward to your partnership with us to change lives. Let's Talk, revealing the heart of Christ through engaging media conversations.
Sometimes you walk through life alone, wondering if anyone understands what you are going through, hoping someone will listen and offer a word to make your day. The Church of God of Prophecy offers unconditional love and support, regardless of what you are going through. Visit cogop.ca for a location near you. The Church of God of Prophecy, developing authentic disciples of Christ.